Hi everyone, a very good evening. So in yesterday class we learned about how to perform mathematical and arithmetic operation, and even we see like how can we define object in our JavaScript. We learn about the property and value, how can we assign that. So in today's class I'm going to show you the practical implementation of that. After that, we will learn form validation as well. How can we create form and how can we add validation in it? Let me show you first how to access object in a JavaScript file. We can say program to define an access object. Let me write single line comment. Program to define and access object. So here first we are going inside our index.html file, and we have to give unique ID so that only we are able to show our object on our web page. So here I am going to take h1 tag first for giving my heading, defining and accessing object. Objects. Okay. Now here I am going to take p tag and I am going to use unique ID. Okay. ID as a ID1. In the same way, I'm going to copy this line and change my ID as a ID2. Let me create 4. Okay, fine. it's ID2, then ID3, and then we have a ID4. Okay. After creating unique ID, what we are going to do inside our script.js, that is inside our JavaScript file, I'm going to take one variable while using a variable let keyword. Okay, let, and here I'm going to name app. Okay, and inside app, how can we create object literal? We have to put curly bracket, and inside curly bracket we are giving properties and value. For example, here I want to give property name as a app name. Inside app name I'm going to give a value. We have to put this colon, and inside that I'm going to give a value in string, not in a number form. And app name I'm going to give as a JavaScript for beginners. Okay, JavaScript for beginners. Then I'm going to give app category. So app category should be education. Okay, this is a property, and right hand side we have a value. In the same way you can create lots. If you want to give app developer, so you can give that as well. It's your choice. Let me give that because we take 4 p tag. Okay, app developer. Here I'm going to give Senseacademy. Okay, after that I want to give app release date. So release date should be number. 2024 is going on. Okay, so 2024. Okay, here we have defined an object named app. Object declaration is just like variable declaration, as you see, but it can hold more data than a variable. Variable can hold only single data at a time, but object can hold more than one data, as you can see on a screen. Also, we have defined 4 properties of that object. As you can see on a screen, we have an app name, app category, app developer, and app release. So these are the properties of what? App, the variable that we create above. Also, we have assigned value to this properties. As you can see, we have a JavaScript for beginners. These are all other property. Education, Senseacademy 2024. These are the properties of that value. Now, if I want to show, if I want to access on a screen, so for that, what I am going to do, I am going to write document.get element by id, and IDs would be unique that we already created inside our index.html file. Element by id, and inside that I'm going to take first what we have, id1. Okay, let me write id1, then dot inner html, and equal to, here first thing we have to print is app name. So simply we can write if we want this thing on a screen, so what we can do, we have first variable name app, and now I want to print this thing on my screen on my web page. Let me split it out so that it is easy for you to understand. Let me open my live server. Okay, fine, let me split it out. Here we have an object variable name app, and I want to access this value of app name. So for that, what I can do, I can just simply like app dot, I want to access this one, so copy this and paste it here. After pasting it, let me save this file. Then you can see you are getting the app name JavaScript for beginners. Okay, so when any other user came, they are not able to understand what is it. So you have to take string, and inside string you have to write app name is, okay, app name is, and after that you have to add it with plus symbol. App name is JavaScript for beginners. Okay, let me save this. Okay, now it's good. App name is JavaScript for beginners. In the same way, if I want to access this property, the second property that we have, app category, in the same way we can access that also. What we can do, we can write app.app category. Then if we want to access app developer, then in the same way we can follow the same step every time and access our value on our screen. So let me copy this only without wasting time. I'm copying this line only. Paste it for 4 times. Okay, we have 4 things, and let me change the ID as well. 2, 3, and the last one is now here. What I am going to do, I need app category. Let me copy this and paste it here. Instead of app name, in second word we want app category. Then in third word we want app developer. Let me copy this also and paste it here on the third. And after app developer, what we have? We have a app release date. Now let me save this file. After saving, I get all my 4 property. App name is JavaScript, and you can change this as well, the text also. So instead of app name, you can write it app category. Then after app category, what we have a developer. So app developer. Then at last we have a release. So we can going to write a release year is app release year is. Okay, fine. Let me save this. Now you see on screen, app name is JavaScript for beginners, app category is education, app developer is Senseacademy, app release year is 2024. So in this way you can access object on your screen. So here we learn how to define an access object in JavaScript file. And you can also see object declaration, like we can store multiple data inside one variable. Okay, so this is a good way to define an access object using JavaScript. Now next what we have, now we are going to, after learning this, now you know how to declare function that I already told you in yesterday class. Now we are going to learn how can we make form inside index.html and how we can validate through using JavaScript. Okay, now here I'm going to create a simple basic form, and in using JavaScript we will add validation of functionality in it. Let me take another h1 tag, and here I'm going to write user registration form. Okay, as you already know how to create form, while learning index.html you learn the basic syntax, and even I also show you like how you can create a basic form. Now here for creating a basic form, first what you have to do, you have to take a form tag. Inside form tag I am going to take id registration form, and after registration form I am going to take an event that is called on submit. Whenever we submit a form, this function will work. Okay, on submit return validate form. Okay, if form is validate, then only it will return true, otherwise it will return false. For that purpose we are going to pass this on submit event here, return validate form. for passing function, we are using this parenthesis. Okay. So here this line start a form element. It has an ID attribute that we set to registration form, which can be used to reference this form in JavaScript. Okay, so the on submit attribute specifies a JavaScript function to be executed when the form is submitted. In this case, it calls the validate form function and return its result. If validate form returns false, the form submission is prevented. Okay, it is not going to be proceed further on. After that, we are going to take label for username and for password that we are usually doing while working with index.html tag. So here I'm going to take label. Inside label, I'm going to write username. Okay, username. Let me save this. As you can see, let me zoom it out a little bit. Okay, we have a username, and here also I'm going to write going to use for attribute for username, and we are going to take input tag. Before that, we need one BR line, that is break line, and then I'm going to write, and I'm going to take input field for username. Okay, so if we are if our label is username, so type should be text only. Inside type attribute, I'm going to take text, and every tag have a unique ID, so here ID should be username. Then after username, the field name should be also username. Okay, let me take another BR break line. So here you can see what we did here. We have a label tag, label element with the text username, as you can see on screen as well. The for attribute is set to username, which associates this label with the input field with the ID username. So this improves accessibility and usability. Then in the same way, we are going to create email. So instead of writing all, let me copy this only and just change the text. Okay. And here I'm going to paste it. And instead of username, I'm going to write here email. Okay. And for here also, I'm going to take email. And then here input type should be what? Not text, it should be email. For email, type should be email. And ID also email, and name of the field is also email. So we have two input fields, first for username and the second for email. Let me write username in a proper format. User and name should be 1 minute. Name should be small. Here also, and here you also should be small. Fine. Okay, fine. Oh, it looks good. Okay, we have a username and email, two fields. Now after that, what we have after email, we have a password field as well. Username, email, and password. Now I'm going to copy the same one from here. Okay, fine. let me use br tag as well here also, so that it's good. I'm going to copy this email field label or input, copy this and paste it below. Forward for password and change it as password only. Label attribute for attribute is password, and here also instead of email what we are going to write, we are going to write password. Type of input field is password. In password we are not able to see the character what we are going to write on the screen, it will come in a dotted form. And id should be a password. Email is changed here, it should be password. Okay, fine. Now we have three fields: username, email, password. Now what we want one button, that is submit button. Okay, so after br here, just remember this line, create a label element with text, email or password, similar for username as well. Now we are going to create a button, and button for what? For submitting this form. Submit button we need, and type of button should be submit here. Here also I'm going to use using type attribute, and inside type attribute I'm going to write submit. Okay, fine. So this line creates a submit button that users can click to submit the form data. Okay, and after that we have a, let me show you. Okay, let me take br tag also after password. Okay, let me give one more br tag. Okay, fine. So we have three field, and then we have a submit button. And after that, I'm going to take one div after the completion of form. I'm going to take div. I will explain you why. And inside div, I'm going to pass nothing. Here inside, I'm going to take one attribute with name ID. And here I'm going to pass error message. Error messages, okay. I will tell you. So here I am taking a div element with the ID error messages. Okay. So this element is used to display any error messages that occur during form validation. Okay. So this HTML code set up a simple user registration form with the field for username, email and password along with a submit button. It also includes container for displaying error that we take in a div tag, that is division tag, and we have a unique ID that is error messages. It will display if it uh, if it identify any error while submitting the form. So it will display on a screen. For that we are using this div tag, okay, div element. Now I'm going to use my JavaScript form for giving validation. So here we have a validate form. So you can see one more time. This is a simple basic user registration form. Now here I'm going to write JavaScript logic for validate my form. Okay. So what function we have inside index.html? We have a return validate form. Okay. So I'm going to copy this, and after copying this, let me save this file as well. After copying this, I am going to paste it here. First we have to make a function. So for making function we are going to use function keyword. And after using function keyword, we are going to write the name, that is validate form, use parenthesis, and inside curly bracket we execute the code that we want to return or display on our web page. So here we have a function with name validate form, and here I am going to take one variable with var keyword, var username, and inside username I'm going to get this value that we are putting here. We have a text, okay? So here I'm going to write, okay, fine. Here I'm going to write document dot get element by id. So what is the id? Id is username. For username, what we have a id? We have a id username. So that we are going to write here inside double quotes, username dot value. This time we need the value, okay? The value whatever we are going to write on our web page, date value we want to hit here. So value should be anything. So that's why here I am not taking inner.html, because I don't have to show any value inside that. Whatever the value we are going to write on our web page, that would be reflected, okay? So here I'm taking var username, and I'm taking document.getElement by id, the id that we are taking in index.html, and dot value. So basically this line retrieves the value entered in the username field of the form. It uses what? Document.getElement by id to get the input element with the id username, and then dot value to get its value, okay? In the same way we are going to create another var keyword for email and for password. So let me copy this line only instead of writing again, and when we can change the variable name. So instead of username, what should be the another variable? Email, okay? Next field what we have? We have an email. So here I'm going to take email, and document.getElement by id. Here we have to change id as well. So for email we have a id, unique id with the name email. You can check in index.html file, id is email. Like this you have to do for password as well. So here instead of username I'm going to take the last one as a password, and here also I'm going to change unique id, and id is password only, okay? Now let me take one more. Let me save this first, and we get value for username, email, and password. Then we have a button, and then we have a one more div tag for error messages for displaying that. So for displaying error messages, for that also we have to take a var keyword for showing the error message. So here I'm going to take var keyword, and inside that I'm going to take variable name as error message, okay? And inside error message also I'm going to write document dot get element by id, and what is our unique id? Let me see. It's error messages. Copy it from here and paste it inside, okay? We need that, okay? It will display. Now here this line retrieve the element with id error messages, which is the div element where error message will be displayed, okay? Now for a while I'm here, what I'm going to do, here we don't know what is our error messages. So we have to pass empty string, as we know what is the error message. It will automatically type on a display. We have error message dot inner HTML equal to empty string. Okay. So this line set the inner HTML property of the error messages element to an empty string. This is done to clear any existing error message before performing validation. It will check first and it will then clear that. Now here I am going to give some conditions. So on the basis of that condition, this code will work. Here I am going to write the condition if username equal to empty string. If we don't fill username anything on that time, username, or we can say email. Here I'm going to or operator. I will explain you what this operator will do. But let's understand, if our username is empty or email is empty, if anyone is find empty, like there is no value inside that from user side, on that time like this line here, username is empty, this block of code check if any of the username, email or password fields are empty. If any of them are empty, it adds an error message. And what will be that error message? All fields are required. Like that we are going to pass error message. Okay. For example, let's suppose if you fill username and if you fill password and you forget to fill email and you submit on the button, on that time you get a message something like that, all fields are required. In case all the fields are already filled, on that time you are able to submit the form. If any of the fields are missing, on that time you are going to get single message, that is all the fields are required. It will check if any one of are empty or not. If it find empty any field, any of them, like in three, any of them, any one field are empty, then also you are going to get that error messages. That is fields are required. So here I'm writing this condition. If this thing will happen, then on that time you are going to get one error message dot, here we pass empty string. Now inside empty string we have to send this message. Okay, error message dot inner HTML. Then here we are going to add p tag, and inside p tag I'm going to write, because we pass an empty string here, and if if any condition not mismatching, on that time we are getting this message. Okay, all fields are required. Let me write it in string because we are adding. Okay, fine, all fields are required, otherwise it will written false. Basically this block of code check if any of the username, email or password fields are empty. If any of them are empty, it adds an error message, all fields are required, to the error message element and written false, indicating that the form submission should be stopped. Okay, and now we have to give, like if we write any wrong email, if we don't use the special characters like at the rate or anything else, and we are trying to submit the form, on that time also we need some error messages like your email should be valid. For that, what I'm going to do, if 1 minute, fine. Okay, if for email what we are using, okay, here we have an ID email. Okay, fine. If not validate email, this is a symbol of not. If not validate email, here you have to inside parentheses I'm going to pass ID so that it can understand it is for email. If not validate email, on that time we are going to get error message dot inner html plus equal to, here we are going to pass, please enter a valid email address. Okay, inside p tag only. Please enter enter a valid email address. Okay, let me save this. Okay, otherwise written false. Okay, so here this block of code calls the validate email function with the email input. Okay, this is for email input, as its you can understand as its argument. If the email is not valid according to the regular expression provided, it adds an error message, that is, please enter a valid email address to the error message element and returns false. Okay, you can add more validation for password as well, and other if these conditions are not matches, otherwise, like if these are like everything is valid, like email is also valid, and if our fields are not empty, on that time we have to return true. On that time we are able to submit our forms. Okay, we get messages also and it will return false, you are not able to submit the form. And if these conditions are not, like if conditions are not fulfilled, like if fields are filled with correct username, email or password, on that time we are returning true, we can proceed our form to submit. So if all validate check pass, that is no empty fields and a valid email, this line is rich and the function returns true, indicating that the form submission can proceed. Okay, now not validate email, we use this here, but for that we have to make function also. How can it will check like email is valid or not? We have to provide something na, some validation as well, like if we have a lowercase character or if we have an at the rate symbol, then only our email should be valid. For that we have to create one function for validate email so that it can check from there like it is valid or not. So the last thing what you have to do, you have to create a function for validate email. uh, okay, function validate email, let me copy this only and paste it here. And inside validate email we have to pass this only this input field, because we have to check input only for email, and then inside curly bracket we will execute a whole code. So here I'm going to write a variable, and you can write regex, we can call regex, or we can say validate email. So for that you can take it from Google. For valid email validation you can take anything like a valid email, like for example validate email regex. Here we will get everything on Google and you have to copy it and paste it here. For example, if small A to Z character is there, number is there, at the rate symbol is there, then only we are able to proceed the form. So for that you can open any, not from here, any site and write email regex. So you will get lots more here. Let me check any other simple one. Okay, 1 minute. Okay, copy this one. No, not this one. 1 minute. So here you get to know all this thing. It will matches the beginning of the string or line if multi-line. At the rate matches any character that is not in this set, that is not at the rate. One more of this like this. You can read it from here and take any regex. 1 minute, guys. Okay, just copy this one. This is for email. Okay, fine. Copy this one only and paste it here. Okay. Now here I'm going to put colon and written what regex the variable name dot test. But we have to test our email, our this input field. Okay, fine. Uh, let's see. Hope it's working fine. Let me save this file. So this line defines a regular expression stored in the variable regex. So the regular expression is, you can see we have at the rate symbol plus. You can search it on Google and understand what all are the cases here, what we can use, what all are the character we can use inside our email. So this line uses a regular expression stored in the variable to test regex if the provided email string matches the pattern. Okay, it returns true if the email is valid according to the regular expression. Otherwise, it will return false. Okay, let me save this. Okay, now let's check. Let's suppose if I try to submit the form, I'm not getting anything. Yeah, I'm getting all fields are required. Let me reload the page and show you. Now, my fields, I'm not filling any fields, neither username, email, nor password. Okay. Now, if I try to submit, I will get an error message. All fields are required. Okay. Let me fill username as Neha Singh. Okay. And let me leave the email and type any password and submit. Then also I'm getting same error, all fields are required. As I already told, if any field is missing, then we are going to get this error. Let me give some email address and submit it. Okay, our form will be submitted. On that time, we are not going to get any error. In this way, we can validate our form. Okay, let me check this validation also. Username should be anything. And inside email, I'm not going to use at the character. On that time, will I get error or not? Please include at the rate in the email address. Okay, it will check our checks, and on the basis of that we have to validate our email on the basis of validation. So if we don't put at the rate, on that time we are going to get this pop-up or alert message like this. We have to use at the rate. So in this way you can validate your form. Okay, now you can understand how you can like inside form validation we have lots of things, not only email, password or username. We have so many things, like we have a gender, male, female, and we have lots more field. So you can validate every field according to your own choice, like in a same way. Just you have to write some sentence, like if this is not matches with our condition, on that time we are going to get this error message. So you have to make common error message field, and on that error message field you have to show your errors for each fields. So in this way you can validate your form. Hope you all understand, and if you have any doubt you can ask. Okay, now I'm going to explain you modules. So um, let's start with modules. For modules, I am going to make a separate file so it is easy for you to understand. Check this once. I'm giving you 2 minutes. Then after that, we will start modules in JavaScript. Okay. Now we are going to start modules. It will take 5 minutes only for explaining you that. But for modules, I'm going to create a separate file so that you can understand clearly. First of all, in JavaScript, a module is a reusable piece of code that is related with functionality, variables, and function. Like modules help organize code into smaller, manageable units, improving code maintainability and reusability. There are different ways to implement modules in JavaScript. I will show you how you can implement. Let me make new file here on my desktop. Uh, Let me close um, this one, and here I'm going to create a new file for explaining you modules in JavaScript. Name it modules in JavaScript. Okay, you have to open it with VS Code. So here let's create an file with name index.html, and inside index.html use your boilerplate, and here I'm going to write title as a module example. Okay, and inside body tag I'm going to take one h1 tag, and here I'm going to give heading as a module example only, and then I'm going to take one button. Okay, click me. Okay, fine. And give ID also. ID is button. Sorry. Let me save this and open my live server and close this old one. Okay. We have a module here, module example, and we have one button. Now we need a JavaScript file as well. So let me create one more file with the name. What happened? 1 minute. Okay, fine. We are going to create one more file for JavaScript with name main.js. Okay, main.js. We know for creating JavaScript file we have to use .js extension, and inside that I'm using my JS file. I'm importing here inside my index.html file. So for importing we have to use script tag, and inside script tag we are going to use src attribute. Okay, inside src attribute I'm going to write main.js. Okay, here I'm going to take one more attribute with the name type, and type of attribute is module. Okay, we are going to learn about module. Let me save this. Okay, now whatever I'm going to write here, it will reflect on our web page. Okay. Now here we have a main.js file. So this file will import the so message function. So one more minute. Here I'm going to create one more JS file for masters.js. 1 minute. Here I'm going to create one more file with the name message.js. Okay. As you can see, we have a two file for JS, main.js, that is already imported in our index.html file, and another extra file that is with the name message.js. Okay, so the message.js module will this module will export a function that display a message when called. So what I am going to do, I am export one function here. For exporting the function, I am going to use this export keyword, and export function so message with the name so message. I will show you how it will work. No need to worry about that, you will understand later on. Now just focus what I am doing. So message, and we will create one function, and here we execute our code. Here I'm going to give one alert. Okay, inside alert I'm going to write hello from the message module. Okay, hello from the, so that we can understand, hello from the message module. Now how we can get this message inside our index.html or main.js file? We know we have index.html file, inside that we have main.js file. So whatever we are doing in this file, that only reflect inside our index.html file on our web page. But here we create one extra file with the name message.js, and here I am exporting one message with alert hello from the message module. Okay, now let me save this file. Now next we have a main.js file. So here we have an export. Inside main.js file we will import the so message function from the message.js file. This message we are going to import here. Here we are exporting our message so that we can import in another file. Inside main.js file I am going to import a so message function and attach it to the button click. So whenever we click on the button, we will get this message hello from the message module. Okay, so how I can import it? So for importing message.js file inside our main.js file, for that we are going to use this import, and inside curly bracket we have to write a function name. What is our function name? So message. Let me copy this and paste it here. Oh, okay, 1 minute. uh, Copy this only. Okay. No. Okay, no worry. Let me write it only. Okay, so message from message.js. Automatically it will capture. Okay. You can write message.js as well. It's up to your choice. Okay. It's fine if you write message.js. Okay. Huh. Now after importing it, you have to use it as well. Now here I'm going to use document get element by id. Document dot get element by id. So what is the id name for button? btn button. Okay, fine. So here I'm going to use the unique id dot add event listener. So this is an add event listener. You will google it and learn it about why we are using add event listener. So this is the task you have to read about it, why we are using it. So it will add some event whenever we click on it button. Okay, so here we are going to write a string. We have to click, and on click we are getting what? A so message that we are importing here. Okay, on click we will get so message. Okay, fine. We add event listener, and on a click of that we are getting this so message. Okay, so in message.js we define a function so message and export it using the export keyword. This make the so message function available for import in other files. So what we are doing in main.js, in this file, we import the so message function from message.js using the import statement. We then attach this function to the click event of the button with the id button. Okay, you can see the unique id that we write. So when the button is clicked, the so message function is called and displaying an alert with the message but hello from the message module. Okay, let me save this and check it out. It's working or not. Okay, now you can see we are getting this message hello from the message module. Even we are not even we are not using this message.js file inside our index.html, then also we are getting this. So we can use this file in any other file easily by exporting, because we are exporting it from here. So we can import in any other file and use it and show its message whatever we want to send it from that file. Now here from this file I'm sending alert hello from the message module, and inside main.js on a button click I'm passing add event listener, and there I'm showing that message on a click me. Okay, in this way you can also do that. So this example explain you how to use JavaScript modules to organize code into separate file and import export functionalities between them. Okay, I think you understand this thing. If you don't understand, so try to do by your own so that you can understand easily. Practice by your own self and try to do it by your own. You have to make a separate file and then you have to import any message. Not only in alert, you can give a console also. You can use anything. You can simply pass your message by returning as well. So after doing practice, you come to know what I am exactly doing here. See the code once. This is our index.html file. Here we have a script and here we are importing our main.js file. But inside main.js file, we are not passing any alert. We have a message.js file. Here we are exporting our alert message and inside alert message what we are sending hello from the message module, and that we are showing here on add event listener by using document.getElement by id. With this, I am overing this session here. You guys will get your attendance link, so please fill your attendance sheet. And with that, I'm overing here. Hello. नहीं दही में लगा दें कि आगे जाना है टर्निंग नहीं करनी उधर साइड से आगे तो हाँ 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 मैं आती हूँ बस एक सेकेंड अब उसका हो गया तो सबकी नहीं किया तो किए करे लोग ने इसलिए देखो मतलब तब भी करे जो भी कष्ट कर लेती है सही